Hello, friends. So, some of you know that I moved, and in moving, I lost the living room that I used to film in. And so, I am transitioning and trying to figure out where I'm going to be filming. This is not it for the long run, but this is what I've got for right now. I am redoing the Little Diddy that is the Working Towards Warrior 2 with a chair, because the other one that I did, when I hit film, the camera moved and you can't see my feet. So I am just going to redo that here in this space while I have the opportunity to put that out for you guys. Please, thank you for your patience as I get settled into a new home eventually here. I am sitting on a chair. You definitely need a chair for this one, friends. But you'll notice I'm sitting on the end of the chair, right? I'm not leaning back against the back. I'm nowhere near the back. My buttocks are on the very edge of the chair. I have my ankles underneath my knees, and everything is about hip distance. I'm going to put my hands on my thighs. They can be palms up or palms down. They're both wonderful, right? You can tell this is the new place where we live, and the kitties are back. I had a couple videos without them, so welcome duly to class. And as you sit up nice and tall, you're looking for the middle of the buttocks bones, and you're feeling, I should say, you're feeling for the middle of the buttocks bones, and the spine is growing up nice and tall out of that. Close the eyes, and let's just take just a couple of moments to scan. I still want to have a few moments of awareness in these little ditties so that we work that piece. Check in with your facial muscles, and if anything is tight or contracted, soften. Soften through your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Check in with your torso. There's definitely a little contracted to keep you upright, but only what is necessary. And check in around the hips and find out if there's anything that can soften there. Check in with the legs all the way down through the ankles, feet, and toes. Let's take about 4 breaths, letting the belly be so soft that when you inhale, the belly floats away from the spine, and when you exhale, the belly floats back towards the spine. Maybe that breath can deepen a little bit, lengthen a little bit, but it shouldn't feel effortful, so keep it nice and soft. And with your next inhale, go ahead and open the eyes. Our first move is going to be just to work with the arms and start to work with what the arms will be when we do Warrior 2. So you're going to reach your palms down, arms down, palms are towards the body. So the first thing I want you to do is just so we start to figure out what external rotation is in the upper arm bone, the humerus bone, right? It affects the upper back. Look down at your shoulder, either one, right or left. And then go ahead and turn your thumb all the way out, away from you, and start to turn it to the wall behind you. And notice how the shoulder starts to roll back. Yeah? Now go ahead and turn the palm back towards you and turn the thumb towards the body. And notice how the shoulder starts to roll forward. Yeah? So go ahead and turn the palms forward towards the front of your mat, if you were on a mat, right? And notice how we can start to find the shoulders moving back, shoulder blades down the back, and we're standing up nice and tall here, or sitting up nice and tall. Now keep that, and inhale, bring those arms up, and you're going to come on up to shoulder height. Right, those palms are turning up towards the ceiling, or as much as you can in the body you have today while you're doing this video. Find the crown of the head is reaching up, and reach out from fingertip to fingertip, right? Really lengthen through both the front, the collarbone area, but also in between the shoulder blades. And take one more breath here. Inhale, starting to warm your arms and your shoulders up. And exhale, bring those arms down, place the palms on the thighs, and pause for a moment. Notice your chest, your upper back, your shoulders, upper arms, wherever you're feeling sensation. Sometimes this will even affect the neck for some folks. Okay, we're going to add on. Go ahead and turn those palms all the way out. Reach the arms out. Turn the palms out and inhale. Come on up to shoulder height. Just to shoulder height. You can always be a little lower if that's better for your shoulders, right? And now from the forearm, there's this thing called pronation. So you're going to keep your upper arm bone turned as it is, external rotation, and turn your palm down, right? So that we keep the beautiful expansion in the shoulders. Now this time I want you to imagine that you have a counter underneath each of your hands. And I want you to push down into those imaginary counters and see if you can't feel two things specifically. How the triceps start to fire up, right? And then maybe a little hugging in action between the shoulder blades. So again, push into imaginary countertops, feel that hugging in of what I'm going to call the mid-trapezius area between the shoulder blades, and those triceps, the triceps, the outer upper arms. And go ahead and bring that down and bring the hands forward and pause. So for most of us, that's going to feel, myself included, like I'm pretty built for a girl, but I'm still feeling quite a bit of work in my upper back and my arms. It is work if you hold it properly. Okay? We're going to go into goddess pose, or a variation of next. So you're going to walk your feet out wide. How wide? You want to make sure that your pelvis doesn't roll behind you, right? So maybe not so wide, the pelvis rocks back. So it might look more like this for you. It might look more like this for you. You got your body, I got mine. You're working with the body you have, not mine, right? So make sure your knees are going over your second toes and that the ankles are still underneath the knees, even in this configuration. And from there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our fingertips and turn our fingertips towards the inseam of our legs. And we're going to do a little moving the chest, the torso a little forward. Now, I'm going to push into my left hand ever so slightly to turn my left shoulder towards my right thigh. And inhale. So getting a little twist first here. Exhale, pushing my right hand into my right thigh, moving right shoulder towards left thigh. Inhale back up one more time. Again, you can push that thigh just really gently away as you move into this, so we feel a little inner groin. Inhale back to the center and exhale, going into a twist towards your left. And come back right through the center. Let's add our arms in again so we get that beautiful arm work. Inhale the arms out. Push down into imaginary countertops. And now I don't want you to actually come out of the chair. Even if you have the ability, please don't. I don't want those many muscles fired up. I want to focus in a very particular spot. You're going to push your inner heels down. And as both inner heels push down really deeply into the ground, we start to feel the inner groin turn on, which starts to pull the pelvic floor up. The pelvic floor supports the rest of the spinal column so that the whole core, the whole spinal column can get nice and tall. Keep pushing the inner heels. I know it's work. As if you were going to be coming out of the chair, but you're not actually coming out of the chair, right? And feel the toning of the pelvic floor and the low belly particularly. Take one more breath, inhale. Push those imaginary counters, push the inner heels down, exhale, and bring those hands down and bring the legs in. Moving towards a crescent with the help of the chair. You're going to turn towards your right, and I'm mirroring you, by the way, so that hopefully we look like each other. And then, well, you know, not entirely, but our shapes anyway. So then from there, you're going to put that right ankle underneath the right knee. And you're going to start to, I use my hand on the chair for balance personally. You're going to start to reach that left leg back. Now I can have a bend in that knee, that's okay. Or I can start to push the heel even a little further back, working the leg towards straight. I'm not going to straighten mine all the way because if I do, I go into what's called an anterior tilt and I start to crush my low back. Doing that years and years caused me low back issues, so I'm really careful about that, right? Go to the point where you can pull the frontal hip points up. And as the frontal hip points pull up and that inner right heel pushes down, right, I might start to reach that left heel back, that left thigh up as if I'm straightening it. But again, I'm not going to lose my pelvis to do that. Now from there, inhale, maybe reach the arms forward and up, pulling from the frontal hip points up through the pinky fingers. And bring those hands down. You have two options to come out of this, right? You can either just start to turn the body and the knee. I find that with the knee, that's a little more precarious for me personally. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start to move that right leg in, holding onto the chair. Step that, or left leg out in front of me. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to walk that other foot over or pick it up and move it over till my knees are center. Starting to turn the other way. And besides, if I film here, it's not quite as pretty of a background, not like the other one was spectacular. But we get Dooley again. Hi, Dooley. He likes his new house. Go ahead and turn towards your left. You're going to be on the edge of the chair, both with the left buttocks and forward wise, right? I'm going to grab the chair with my left hand, and I'm going to try to avoid Dooley. I'm going to start to reach my foot back. Cue me, Dooley. Cue me. Me. Thank you. I'm still going to get your fur, bud. Okay. And then I'm going to bend that knee. And I might start to work that leg a little bit straighter, but not too much. First, we've got pelvis business, right? So from there, I'm going to root down into my inner left heel, so I start to find fire. So I'm not completely cooshed on this chair, right? I have some activity, but I'm not lifting off of it. I'm going to reach that, pull the frontal hip points up first, forgot that piece. Keep that, yeah? Inner left heel, frontal hip points, and then work towards straight-ish in the back. It doesn't have to be straight, it can be completely bent. Depends on what's best for your body and your knees, right? But I do have my heel pointing up to the ceiling. I might even inhale my arms up. I might not. That might feel like pushing it, right? Pull the frontal hip points up. I can always stay right in front of my chest, by the way. And bring those hands down. And again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to step this right leg a little forward and out in front of me. And then I'm going to go sweet, heel toe, or pick it up and bring it back to neutral. And pause. With most folks who end up getting an injury while doing yoga, hey, Dooley, please no. If they get injured while they do yoga, more often than not always, but more often than not, what is happening is that they're getting injured in transition. So personally, I think the transitions are almost more important than when you're sitting in the pose itself. So we're going to go to Warrior 2 with the help of the chair. Same position. I'm on my right buttocks, both forward on the edge of the chair and also out towards the front end. I'm using my right hand, and I'm starting to step my left leg back. Now for this one, we're going to start to turn the hips and turn the body out. I'm going to try with my body to line my heel up with my arch, and now hopefully you can actually see when I say this. My foot is at about a 45-degree angle, and I'm trying to push that outer back heel down, yeah? And again, with my pelvis starting to turn this way, that allows me to turn my chest, even if my pelvis isn't completely turned, right? Pushing that right inner heel down, heel underneath the knee. Inhale, maybe those arms reach out to the pose we've been working, or the arms we were working earlier, right? Push into your imaginary countertop, soften the shoulders down. Try to pull up from your pelvic floor all the way through the crown of the head. Maybe turn and look beyond the right fingertips, maybe not. Depends on what kind of neck you got going on today. We're being careful. And we're coming out of this. Bring the hands to the chair. Bend the left knee slightly. And then go ahead and step that foot forward in front of you towards the long edge of your mat, right? And then step your left foot over. Pause. Take a breath or two. People think that gentle or beginning yoga poses, things like that, like, oh, I'm not getting enough of a workout. I think when you're really, truly working all of your muscles, like, I'm still getting a workout. We're going to turn towards the left buttocks, both on the left edge of the chair as well as towards the front of the chair. Ankle underneath the knee, hands on the chair, and that other one can come back if you needed to, by the way. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to start to reach that right leg back, working it towards straight with the heel coming down. If that doesn't work, go right back to that crescent pose with the bent knee, yeah? And as I push that outer right heel down, I'm going to work that foot back a little bit because I just noticed that my heel is not in line with my arch, and I'm going to try my best to do that. And weight in the inner left heel, right outer heel pressing down so my legs are really active as if I were not on the chair, but don't come off the chair. Stay on it today, please. Turn the chest to the long edge of the mat. Inhale the arms out, push into imaginary countertops, and get really tall from the pelvic floor all the way up through the crown of the head. Now with that space in the neck, maybe you turn and look beyond the left fingertips. Maybe not. Inhale there, and bring those hands down to the chair. Go ahead and gently, softly bend the right knee and start to move that foot in front of you. Again, be careful with transitions. And that left leg is also going to come over. And then just pause for a moment. So to finish off the class today, we're going to take just a few moments with our ending awareness. So I'm on the edge of the chair, ankles underneath the under the heels, ankles underneath the knees, palms up or palms down on the thighs, middle of the buttocks bones so the spine can get nice and tall. Be careful of that low floating rib cage, right? The sternum, I should say. Close the eyes. Check into the muscular body and find out if you're holding unnecessary tension, and if you are, can you soften it? And when you start to do this work more and more, do you notice every single time you bring your awareness, your jaw is clenched, your shoulders are up, whatever your thing is, and I've got a few of them, quite honestly. And then we start to learn our habitual patterns. Or maybe I've never noticed my jaw has been locked, but today my jaw is, really clamped shut. So then, just gives us information. We don't have to know the answer. But it might give us clues. Find that beautiful breath. Bring your palms together at your heart. Inhale, get a little longer in the spine gently. Keep the height of the spine, but exhale, bow the head in, taking a moment here and be very, very grateful for these beautiful, beautiful bodies of ours, right? And all that they do for us, even with all their idiosyncratic things, we'll call it. Thank you, bodies. Namaste, friends. If you like the video, if you like the way I teach, please, please turn other people onto it and see if they might be interested in becoming a subscriber so I can keep this thing alive. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day. Namaste, friends.